Yeah, excellent, excellent.
All
That's
right, here we
beautiful,
go.
man. All right.
Welcome to Life Force Rejuvenation. I have a guest that we're going to do a mini series on. His name is Mike Ferraro, aka Tetra Healing. We're going to start off with where he's from, his experiences as a young man, and I'm just going to let him rock and roll. And go ahead and introduce yourself, Mike.
Right on. Thanks, John. Appreciate it, bro. So my name is Mike Ferraro. God, how long have I known you now? It's been like 2 years?
No, it's been more like 5, 7.
No, not that long. Oh my God.
Dude. Okay, maybe 4.
Okay, either way, it's been a while. But yeah, man, that's awesome. So I God, where do I begin?
Where are you
Shoot,
from?
Man.
Where were you born?
Are you going to be able to edit this?
Yes. We shoot from the hip here in this YouTube channel.
Oh crap, man! Maybe we should start over.
Yep.
Oh, come on, we have to. You can't have this part in there; it's too awkward.
Okay, go.
All right, my name is Mike Ferraro. I'm in Edmonds, Washington. I've been doing healing work since the mid 1990s when I got attuned to Reiki, and let's see. I've been working with.
What happened in your childhood?
Oh, in my childhood, yeah. Okay, so the things that brought me to where I'm at now, starting when I was really young, probably about like 6 or 7 years old. Growing up, I was in a house that had a lot of paranormal activity in it, ghosts, whispers, getting touched, getting pulled in my bed, crazy stuff like that, seeing shadow figures. I grew up with a couple of cats, and the cats would always see everything around me too. So they would be able to see stuff, and I would see stuff out of the corner of my eye. And they basically were able to like validate that I was actually seeing stuff. But around like 7 years old or so, I started having these spontaneous out-of-body experiences where I would basically get into an extremely relaxed state through heavy breathing. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was super young at that point. So I would start to have these experiences where I'm just kind of going through this breathing exercise, more or less. I would start to feel like I would sink into my bed as if my mattress was maybe 20 feet thick, and I would just sink all the way down to the bottom of it. And for lack of a better word, it would feel like my body would just basically fold in half. It's the best way that I can explain it. It was really strange. I would lose all sensation of my extremities, hands, feet, arms, legs, things like that. It would all just kind of disappear. Then I would just take a final deep breath, and then I would just kind of pop out of my body. And the weird part is that it wasn't a typical out-of-body experience where you're in your room, floating around, turn around, look at yourself, see yourself, and go, "Oh, hey, there I am." I would pop out and be in what seemed like a completely different dimension. I know you're familiar with Metatron's cube. Obviously, you got it spinning all over the place back there. So, as you know, when you have all the dots of the flower of life connected to it, and you get that sacred geometry aspect of it, you get all these different geometric shapes in 3 dimensions based off of that sacred geometry. So it was as if I was surrounded by a sea of all these individual Metatron's cubes, kind of, and all of us, including myself, were just consciousness, and we would just shift and morph in and out of these geometric shapes. And we would share consciousness. There was no judgment. We all knew what the other ones were thinking at all times. And it's like we would just share our experiences, whatever they were, and also like thoughts. curiosities, things like that. So it's like we were all connected, we were all sharing emotion, but there were still like questions, there was still wonder, things like that. It's not like we knew everything, but it was much more knowing than there is now in this body type of thing. But my thing as a kid is I would pop up and I'd kind of like share my experiences. This is what I've been experiencing as a 7-year-old kid, blah, blah, blah. Not so linearly, but then after a while I would just be like, okay, I'm going to go back. I would pop back into my body and that'd be it. And I would go probably, I don't know, at least a couple times a month, probably up until the point where I really hit puberty, 12, 13, somewhere around there. It started to dwindle. Didn't start to do it as often. It also used to happen a lot when I was sick. When I was sick, I used to get sick a lot when I was a kid. So, I'd be lying in bed with a fever and all of a sudden I would just be like, all right, I'm out. I'd take off and then come back. But that was kind of my introduction to other things that helps me to understand that there's more to this world than what we can perceive with our 5 senses, right? That was like the initiation into it. So having that experience back then, I didn't really understand exactly what it was. And it wasn't until, like I said, about 12 years old or so, it started to kind of go away. I still had other experiences like paranormal type stuff, just with the different places I grew up and being able to see things around me, spirits, energies, things like that. But I joined the Navy right out of high school. When I was 19 years old, I remember being in my barracks and I was falling asleep to Duran Duran, Come Undone. I don't know if you remember that song at all. Great song. Super relaxing, very etheric. And I had one of those tape players where you could like hit the rewind button and it would automatically stop at the end of or at the beginning of the song and then play it. This is back in 1993, I think. And so I'm 19 years old. So I'm listening to the song and I started to get the same sensation that I used to get when I was a kid. When I would like sink to the bottom of the mattress, my body would start to fold. And I started to realize that like I didn't have any more sensation in my fingers. I couldn't tell where my hands were, my feet were, that kind of stuff. But somehow that song kept on getting clicked and rewound. But I wasn't actually, I never thought about moving my thumb or clicking my thumb, and I never felt my thumb actually hit the button. It's just all of a sudden the song would just start playing over. So somehow my thumb is still doing it, but I had no recollection of it. So anyway, I'm going through the whole process and I started to remember what was happening back when I was a kid. And I was like, oh, I remember the sensation. And I just kind of went with it. It was very relaxing. And I just kind of started to remember where I was or what happened back then. And I remember taking the big old deep breath and I shot out of my body again. Except for this time, instead of being around this, sea of other consciousnesses, I was in this black void and there was nothing. It was absolutely nothing. There were no stars. There was no up or down, left or right. I was just a point of consciousness. I didn't have anything, no physical form or anything like that. But there was absolute unconditional love. It was the most intense, beautiful, amazing, deepest form of love I could ever tap into, that I've ever felt. And I feel like it was a gift that was, oh, look at that. That's beautiful. I feel like that it was a gift that was given to me to basically be like, hey, this is what you're shooting for. This is what you're looking for. This is the emotion that's available to you when you tap in deeply enough. The other things that I felt when I was there were, I knew that I was indestructible, for lack of a better word. I remember actually physically having that literal thought was, I'm indestructible. Nothing can hurt me. I had absolutely zero fear. I knew in every fiber of my being, in my heart, that I could be anywhere in the entire universe instantaneously just by thinking about it. There was no question whatsoever. I knew it as fact. Just as much as anything that that is absolute fact. It was that strong, right? And I thought about taking off to go somewhere knowing this, but I was in so much awe of everything else that I was experiencing especially that unconditional love feeling. I just wanted to bask in it. I was just like, oh my God, this is just, oh, holy crap, you know. It was so intense and so beautiful. And then I started to slowly kind of come back to my body. And I remember fighting it, being like, no, I do not want to go back. This is too freaking amazing. And it was like, nope, you've had enough. See ya. And popped back into my body. And literally, probably for about 2 years straight, every single night, I tried to replicate that same experience. And I got close to getting back there, but not quite. I would be able to kind of like sort of leave my body, but it's like I was trying too hard and I wasn't able to quite get there. But that experience really turned everything around for me. That was the moment that I realized as a child that I was having out of body experiences, because I didn't realize what it was back then. And by the time it stopped, I just kind of was like, oh yeah, it's just kind of a cool experience. Every once in a while in random conversation, it would pop up, you know, with friends or whatever, be like, hey, you guys want to hear something freaking trippy? Here we go. You know, and that's the only time that it would really pop up. But other than that, I just kind of wrote it off as kind of a cool experience. I didn't really know what to think of it until it happened again when I was 19. And then I was like, holy crap, that whole time I was leaving. I was actually like taking off. That experience still sticks with me today, that latest one. And I've never been back there. I've never been back to that point. That's why I feel like it was something that kind of opened me up to be like, hey, look, this is what you need to tap into. This is what you're looking to strive for. This is the emotion that you're looking to try to feel as much as you can. And that's kind of what kind of kickstarted the whole thing, getting into my healing career and, you know, wanting to try to share that with other people as well.
Okay, let me hold you off right there. That was totally awesome. Getting right down to the real spirit of the situation. All right, with that, this is part 1 of part 4. Thank you, Mike, for joining me. We will see you again soon and carry on with the message.
Thanks, brother.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
All right.
I love you. You're awesome.
Love you too, baby.
And that's a cut. Okay.
Cool.